Come out of the box.
Hello YouTube, cheers, get your drinks up, and welcome to The Basement. My name is Bruce Lively.
Once again, I'm D-Boy Slim.
And The Basement is the first daily hip-hop debate show. From Tuesday through Friday, we tackle the most intriguing topics in hip-hop culture and the world around it. So welcome back, Basement family. Today, it's a simple question. You see, hip-hop has seen over 40 years of artists coming and going. And the best usually rise to the top. But there's so many that were great but forgotten. You see, it happens in all genres, and hip-hop is no exception. Today we ask the most underrated of all time in hip-hop. And that's a really, really hard mountain to climb. There's a lot. So listen, you guys have to check out our sponsors before we get started. The Fleetwood Spice Collection, people. Try it for yourself. Get the full array of unique, delicious spices right here. No, really, put the website in another tab and check it out while you watch the episode. It only takes a second. Anyway, today's question: who is the most underrated of all time? With that being said, let go.
Bruce reminded me that we had did a show not too long ago about underrated MCs, and I think, we did Nipsey. What was it?
Did Nipsey versus Papoose, and we was talking about the most underrated now.
Of course, Papoose, I still think is one of the more underrated MCs in the game.
Even though the dude is 40 years old, I meant at that point we're supposed to who's most underrated now, but he chose Papoose. I chose Nipsey.
But the most underrated
all time.
It's
a tough one. What you got?
I gotta go with Brooklyn's own AZ.
First off, coming in the game, it was a big shadow he had to get from up under, because we was introduced to AZ through Nas's Illmatic, which for me personally is my favorite hip hop album of all time. Period. It's the best in my book. The best hip hop album of all time. So it was a huge shadow for him to get out from under. Just coming on a Nas's classic that had 5 mics in the source, the first one to do that. Like, just coming from the expectation that Nas had from the get-go. They were comparing Nas already to Rakim. So the expectations that Nas had, AZ kind of fell into that. Like, he was the one that was on that Life's a Bitch track with Nas, and he ripped it. Like, he was the first one that, Nas came second, he ran first. And you wondered, was that Nas at the time, or who was that? Is that Nas's partner or whatever? People hadn't really, we didn't, like I said, that was his introduction, and we didn't know who AZ was. We later found out, and, to this day, like I said, he's been on tracks as recent as 2012, I think 2012, 2013, 2014. Joints like We're Moving, The Calm.
It is what it is. The more drama, the less you see. SUVs, homicide, death in threes. Mama cries cause the joy and pride left she grieves. Bullet holes, cold blood, they just let you bleed. No love for me fatigues, but these niggas are so illiterate, the kinds of disease. We're the G's that put the principles in front of degree. At the municipal, going through the typical squeeze was never free.
He still has that. It's like fine wine or something. He still has a flow it can't be disturbed. One is the charismatic. The charisma is rarely seen that AZ possesses. That laid back, smooth, calm type of style. There's been a lot to do it. I give you that, and there's been a lot to do it from New York. None to me quite does it like AZ. Maybe just Nas. Like, I had to think about that for a minute. Like, the only person I think that comes close to that style that he does and come across with and makes sense. But yeah, he's always been in the mix. He's always been in the mix of greatness too. Like he's been big. I think he's either big or maybe both. He's either big and Jay-Z's for a couple early videos. Like he's always been in the mix of greatness, and that's for the reason of he's the truth.
He's the truth.
He's the truth on that microphone, and he's been respected by the legends that we revere as the best. So, Do or Die was his first album as a soloist.
Do or Die?
Do or Die.
Do or Die?
Do or Die. Get with it. You could tell my partner is not well versed in AZ.
No, I only had one of his albums.
But
I love him though. I'll tell you one thing.
And Do or Die is actually the album that he bought. But like I said, Do or Die was his friend. I'm gonna let Bruce tell you his pick in most underrated MC of all time in just a second. But Do or Die was his first album. Mm-hmm. It went gold.
Okay.
And this is why we call him underrated, because I think it surpasses the numbers that it did. It was a quality album, and if you play it like Sugar Hill, which was the first single that was released off that album.
Rapping grands up in rubber bands, I'm a recovered man. I would plans to discover other lands. Suburban places got me seeking for oasis. Fished out by the cases, ladies are all raised exes on the white sand beaches of St. Thomas. Though this ain't promise, I'm as determined as them old timers. I want a villa in the Costa Rica, so I can smoke my beefer and enjoy how life's supposed to treat.
You can play it today. You can play with your kids. You can play with your mom. It's just a well-rounded out. It's well polished. And he's showcasing his, of course, his skills on there. Rather unique.
We was already molded in people minds of Muliani's. Now we more fucked up with a mayor named Giuliani. You could try to blind me, analyze but can't define me. My mind's divine, heavily entwined with Gandhi's speechless. Left to choke us if skunk smoke was coming through the speakers. Surgically nice with any verbal device. Trice breathing life into mics. My eyesight's beyond the twilight. So die, fight, no surrender, no retreat. Technique speak, I'm rather unique.
One of those mellow, laid-back joints which showcases his laid-back style. And, you know, even my song today has a freestyle rapping off of that rather unique track. And my point in saying all that is the fact that the kids even today go back to AZ, which a lot of people don't have him on his top 10. But your favorite rappers of today still go back to AZ's catalog and choose to rap off it, remember, and pay homage to AZ. But I'm gonna let Bruce tell y'all who he felt was the most underrated MC of all time. But for me, it's AZ all day.
Listen, man, this is why I win this one, hands down, off the rip. Because I think that you have confused good rapping or a good rapper with most underrated. Now,
explain the difference.
I'm going to explain the difference as I do so often on this show.
Because you can't be underrated and be a good rapper?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is,
make the distinction.
How an artist is rated in the hip-hop community with sales, nominations, and just radio play, and they're mentioning also how they're looked back to on history. Like you said, the young people now are actually using his music. Not even young people, but the next generation after him was continuing to use his music. You can't say in one breath that he has gone gold. I'm telling you, the man has sold 25,000 copies of his album. This is AZ now. 25,000 copies in the first week. He's been named by many sites as the top 50. Where he belongs there. He has Grammy nominations, multiple gold albums. The Firm, we just found out, sold over 920,000 albums, close to platinum.
He's kind of stealing my
but I'm just saying that
sunshine right now.
Well, I'm saying
we're going to get to all of that.
When you say this, at this point, the man might be underrated, but he's not the most underrated. He's got the accolades. He's got the community on his side. He's got the historical review. You see, underrated is a dude named Paris. You know why he's underrated?
Because he didn't sell anything, according to you.
Underrated. Paris has 7 albums, He has never gone gold, even though he should have. You see, when you compare Paris to where he should be, he is the most underrated. That's just the facts. He should be up there with the likes of Public Enemy and Dead Prez. Doesn't have to be in your top 10. He should be in the likes of these people. Dead Prez, Public Enemy. He should actually be above them. He is nowhere close in historical, in sales, in no nominations ever.
Was he that good of a rapper?
And yes, he was that good of a rapper. All you have to do is check out the song.
I mixed up a good rapper.
No. Let me do my part. What I'm saying is, he's the most underrated because he's that good. Because he's better than those people that I just mentioned. His songs belong up there, and they're nowhere close. i.e. most underrated. Check out The Devil Made Me Do It.
So black check time and tempo. Revolution ain't never been simple. Following the path for mile for no just build your brain and will soon make progress. Pay your dues, don't snooze or lose. They came with the master plan and got you. So know who's a program. When I get wild, I'll pile on dope jams. Then spit on your flag and government. Cause help the black was a concept never meant. Nigga, please, food stamps and free cheese can't be the cure for a sick disease. Just the way the devil had planned it. Raped and pillage everyone on the planet. And give them fake gods at odds with all law. Love thy enemy and all that hoopla. Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you hear that? This is the dude who started talking about the Black Panther Revolution. This is the dude who's got rhyme skills. He's got all of the lyrics that you need. His vivid paintings, boom, 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 now the ish is equalized. Listen, your boy, the only reason why he's underrated is for a very specific reason. When he was signed with Tommy Boy got bought out by a company owned by Warner Brothers, and they heard his song Bush Killer and saw his insert to the CD. I believe that CD was actually Sleeping with the Enemy. And this dude had a Tech 9 hidden behind a tree, pointing it at George Bush while he's waving to the crowd. You see, Warner Brothers is okay with any amount of drugs that AZ can sell.
Warner Brothers is okay with any amount of drugs that AZ can sell.
Warner Brothers is okay with the niggas killing themselves in the street. The one thing you can't do is talk about fighting back. And that is why he's underrated. He has been blackballed from every major label. He talks about one of his songs. If you look at the song, This Is a Test in 1990.
Beats from LA Ho. The same old thing, same old shit, I'm tired. Was once on the payroll, about to be fired. Black radio shame, pop raps to blame. Program your playlist, it sounds the same. With a disco tempo, cliche intro. Whack rap tracks for commercial show. Do you buy a rap record, do you buy it for dance moves? Or do you buy rap cause the lyrics are smooth? Cause if you wanna dance, you should stick with the other one. And leave a dog alone till the dancing is done. But then when you're ready for the brother who leads and feeds all rap lovers with rhymes like these, I'll dish a little taste of the bass, a Scarface, and paste the rhyme space to chase the weak need. Cause
He specifically talks about how what's making it to the radio is the dance songs and the things that aren't really important. And the reason why he can't get on is because he refuses. And he only talks about the things uplifting his people, protecting his people. Every single major label, he's been signed to 3 different ones and then made up his own. And they've all blackballed him and took him off because his lyrics are so explicit. Because he's talking about the Black Panther music. He's talking about shooting back at cops. The man was prophetic. The man was prophetic. If you look right now, this weekend, all the white racists that was marching, that's running over people with their cars, that's hitting black people in the head with stop signs, he was talking about it. And he was telling us how to avoid it. And that's why we never heard of him. That's why he's underrated. The dude is a king, and you listen to the music. You heard This Is a Test. You heard The Devil Made Me Do It. What about the song Panther Power, made in 1990?
Pigs today, I'll end up like Frey. Like Hutton, I'm never letting them get in my way. Soul on ice, what I won't be played like pigs and house niggas set my sight. Cock the gap back to be the pro-black. On the harm and alarm with the format. News going out to a racist cop. The first motherfucker steps up, gets shot. Hear the growl, I'm proud to be black. Built to step up, but not to step back. Too full grown to allow a game move. Step to the dog and I show and prove. 10-point program, jams the flow in. Pigs in, belly up, stopped in motion. Who's more brutal than a panther unleashed? Paris, made to keep the peace. Summed up.
Panther Power protects the citizens. Strength and unity, peace and protection. One time for Huey and we can keep the movement. This is what he talked about. He's not the first or the last to talk about that stuff. He's just the most underrated. Because when I say Public Enemy, you know exactly what that is. When I say Dead Prez, you know exactly what that is. When I say Paris, 50% have no idea, and the other 50% forgot how good he was, simply because he was so extreme, he was blackballed, i.e. the most underrated.
In our criteria of MCs, we include lyrical ability, we include authenticity, those things I mentioned, which AZ possesses. Also, when someone puts Jay-Z at the top of their list, when someone puts KRS at the top of their list, they're also talking about their longevity and able to sustain a certain level.
True.
And maintaining a certain quality of music. AZ's been able to do that, and I think that should count for something. If, like I said, in 2010, he has a joint with Premier called The Format. You can tell that it's no different from the AZ, except for his range and concept is the only difference that you see, where he chooses to talk about more than the corner or the dude that came up with the gold chain as you hustling. Like there's a joint called Fan Mail that's on Asiatic, which went gold as well, and that came out in 07. So this lets you know that he was able to sustain, not with Nas and not with the firm, on his own as AZ. We're measuring what he should be rated, and you asked me, your question was, who should he be over?
Yeah.
I just named 3 of the greatest who only had 2 albums.
I just named 3 of the greatest who only had 2 albums.
So he should be over them?
I think so. I think he's been. This is why my argument that he's the most underrated overseas. He has to be over somebody that we regard, or that's
what I'm saying is
top 10 MC, and I think so because of that reason alone.
So he's better than those people that you mentioned.
Of course, he's been able to show. He showed you that. He showed they're not here. They haven't been here since '98.
So where are they on your? So I mean, he's up there on your top 10 then.
Again, this is why I'm calling him. This is why I win the argument. This is why I'm calling him the most underrated MC of all time.
Man, no. Listen.
And it, even in times where I may have said, "Yo, it's T.I., it's Andre 3000, it's this one and that," I may have forgotten. Like, yo, as I went through the catalog, I like, whoa. Nobody, where's AZ? AZ's been the most slept on, the most underrated of all time.
I don't think so.
That's a fact.
Because when the 25,000 copies he sold the first week, his mention in the top 50 by almost all major hip-hop outlets, his Grammy nominations, his multiple gold albums let me know the community doesn't underrate him as much as you think they do.
Superman and Soulja Boy went platinum.
That's what's up. The community doesn't underrate him as much as you think they do.
He did numbers on the first week of that or this, like Soulja Boy was able.
But what I can tell you is,
he spoke in the same. You know what? Soulja Boy has a catalog where he's done way more numbers than an AZ.
Yeah,
this is what makes him underrated.
Okay, but I can tell you that they both have done numbers that take Paris out the box, and Paris belongs up there as well, so he's more underrated.
You just told me that Paris is not good as a good rapper.
He belongs up there as well.
AZ.
I didn't say he's not a good. Whoa.
What whoa.
He's not a better rapper.
He's not a better rapper than AZ. He's good enough to be up there, and he's not on as far as the hip hop community is involved.
So that mean would make him underrated,
He's
but not the most underrated.
He's the most because he should be up there. And the person that you mentioned at least has gold. The hip hop community has said he's in the top 50. They never even mentioned this guy who belongs in anybody's top 30, top 20.
Is he better than Public Enemy, Chuck D?
He's better than Chuck D. Wow. He's better than Dead Prez. Yes, believe it or not, family. He's better than Chuck D. He's better than Dead Prez. And that's one of my favorite of all time. He went to become a stockbroker so he could start to independently release his own content without having to worry about anybody else. He got filthy freaking rich in the stock market, came back out, and did 5 more albums. 7 albums all the way up to 2015. From 1989 to 2015. He also has the longevity. He also has a playlist that goes on and on and on.
Yeah, that's to be respected.
With great music. Harsh lyrics that mean something and that are good. Syllabalistic prowess. He's got it. Beats. You kidding me? The most underrated has got to be him. And that's my wrap up simply because AZ is dead nice. But I think that he's got the community on his side and he's not as underrated as you think he is. He belongs up there. But so does Paris, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's under the underground. He's beneath the grass.
My wrap up is simple and plain.
Most underrated.
What makes AZ the most underrated is for everything I just mentioned. He's been mentioned with the greatest. He's been seen with the greatest. He's rapped and held his own with the greatest. The ones we deem and the ones we revere as the Nas's and the Jay-Z's of the world. Somewhere in that mix, AZ deserves to be mentioned and does not. And for that reason, he is the most underrated to me. He has joints like the Phone Tap with featuring Dr. Dre.
Watch me, caught him sleeping in Spanish Harlem with some Puerto Ricans. Up in Washington Heights, right off the deacon. Feel awful speaking for some reason. Feel the phone's tap along with left with a vest to watch my own back. Eyes open.
Oh, that's off the Firm Project, excuse me. That's off the Firm Project with him, Foxy Brown.
It's got 1 million views.
Nas, that has 1 million views.
He's got other ones with 3 million views.
Y'all, if y'all recall the Firm Biz.
And it's underrated?
It's underrated?
And that may be, we all know that's because of Jay-Z. It's because of Dr. Dre. But and then the joint with Firm Biz where he's rapping with his comrade Nas and you got Foxy with it. But my point in all of that, AZ was always AZ, but he never got the recognition that he was supposed to. He's the most underrated because he should be regarded with those that we revere and that we call the best. The best. As this man just said, he raps better than Paris. He's the most underrated of all time. Y'all let us know what y'all think, though.
There you have it. Where do you rate these people, and who's the most underrated? That's the question. Leave it in the comments right down there. Join the debate. That's what we love. This is not just a debate between me and him. We try to win our debate. Who won? But more importantly, join the debate. You tell us, okay? We want you to leave them comments because we shout you out. I.e., Bad Girl 1310. She says, I agree with dude in the red shirt, and that was you at the time. Mike Vick's advice was completely ridiculous, just as Ray Lewis' so-called advice was.
Facts.
What the hell does Colin Kaepernick's hair have to do with anything? If Colin Kaepernick cut his hair right now today, he wouldn't get on the team because these white supremacist owners are not whiteballing him because of his hair. They're doing it because of his protest. Kaepernick said he would stand for the anthem now, and that didn't even get him on the team. So what the hell makes anybody think cutting his hair would? It's ridiculous. And you know what? That's a great comment. Bad Girl 1310, appreciate the comment. You get a big time shout out for that. K Quinn says Kendrick wasn't on Crabs in a Bucket. That was Kilo Kish. Kendrick was on the air right. That's what's up. I had to go back and look at exactly what it is that I said. If I said it wrong, I apologize. But that's why you're here. Because we're not the end all and be all, not the gods of this. I thank you for that. If you corrected me on that one, thank you. K-Quinn, keep on leaving them comments, man. You get your shout out right now. And everybody else who watches, who listens, who enjoys what we do, thank you. Thank you for joining the debate. Press that subscribe button. Press the like button. We do this for y'all. Also, young artists out there, old artists out there, new artists out there, beats, we got them. All the beats that you're hearing, that's Team Box Cutter Beats. A link is in the description on how to get them. Man, we thank y'all. That's the basement for the day.
That's it. That's all I got. Till the next time, we off this.
Peace.